Hey guys, Cat72 here. Hope everyone's doing well. Today I have another video I want to share with you guys pertaining to my 2013 Kia Soul. Now, unfortunately, the Kias, I believe this I don't. There's two or three models that have this issue with the coupler. They call it the steering coupler or coupling, where basically the steering column starts acting awkward when you're driving. It'll start shaking a lot, even though your wheels are properly balanced. Or in some cases, there's a click. I'll demonstrate that for you here in a second. Hold on. So here's my steering column, and if you listen, well, hold on. Let me unlock it first. So I don't know if you can hear that. Let me close the door so you don't have that background chime. But here you go. So obviously you can hear that. So when you're driving, you'll know the wheel does a lot of trembling over 65 to 70 miles an hour. There was a recall and Kia's willing to replace this for free. But I'm a do-it-yourselfer, so I'm gonna tackle it myself. And this here is the package of, let me shut the car off or turn the ignition off. So the I'll put the link in the description where I got the steering couplings from. I got them on Amazon. It was about $6, but what I liked about it was that you get a total of 2, and this is what I'm referencing. These guys right here. You only need 1. It's cool that they give you an extra. So anyway, we're going to do that today. We're going to take the steering column assembly down because in order to get to it, the motor assembly that requires this, it's embedded on top of the steering column, underneath the dash, far into almost touching the floorboard. So we got to take all that down in order to get to it. So that's what we're going to do today, guys. As I was saying, Kia's willing to replace it for free. But as I said, I'm a do-it-yourselfer, and the vehicle's still under warranty, but I just kind of want to do this myself because if you take it to them and they replace it, obviously it wears out over time, and I don't see someone's warranty being extended that long to where they're going to have to take it again, although the second time around you're probably going to be billed for it, and I'm pretty sure that's a pretty hefty price. So I'm going to tackle it myself. So in the event that it happens further down the line, you know, years from now, hopefully, I'll already know how to tackle it and replace it myself. As I said before in my videos, I mean, in my, you know, a lot of times when it comes to my vehicles, whether it's my motorcycle or cars, I'll try to tackle all the work myself. The only time I won't is if it's something that either I don't have the tools for, or I simply don't have the knowledge. But in this case, this is such a simple process. I think the only tedious part is going to be taking everything down, getting to everything, you know, all the screws and wire harnesses and whatnot. Now, before you take, if you guys decide to do this on your own, that's your preference. Make sure you disconnect the battery, and the reason for that is because you're dealing with voltage, and this does have an airbag supplied on it. You don't want any voltage regulations or irregularities, so to speak, causing this airbag to engage. So I would highly recommend disconnecting your battery. Leave it off for about 5 minutes just so everything discharges, and then go ahead and proceed with disconnecting your cable harnesses that are going to be located inside the steering column. But we'll get to that down the video. But for now, let's go ahead and start with disconnecting the battery. We'll go ahead and do that, and then I'll start the video with actually the process of taking off the steering column, or bringing down the steering column, not taking it off. So, okay, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. And it's going to be a little dark in here because I've got tinted windows. Let me open the door again. But see, if I do that, then you guys have the issue with the backlight causing a lot of, there you go, sort of, kind of, anyway. But anyway, we'll work on that down the video. All right, guys, hope you enjoy. Steering coupling on a 2013, or replacement on a 2013 Kia Soul base model. All right, hope you enjoy. Okay guys, first thing we're going to do is, like I said, you want to discharge the circuitry in the car. I know normally it's overnight, but in this particular case I just don't want any power fluctuations while I'm messing with the airbag harness. So we're going to go ahead and disconnect the negative terminal, and it's going to be a 10mm socket. Okay, just put that in a place where it's not going to make any connection during this process. All right, power's been disconnected. Okay guys, I almost got ahead of myself here. You're going to have 2 Phillips screws, one here and one on the right near the center console. Once you take those 2 off, basically these right here, you're going to go ahead and just pry up on the panel and it'll come disconnected. I would say go ahead and disconnect your OB harness. That way you're not pulling or fray any of the cables, and then that'll give us access to where we need to get to at this point. I can't really get a visual on it yet, but the motor assembly, if you can barely see a piece of it, is going to be right above my finger. Who am I kidding? That's it right there. If you can see it kind of focused in the center of the screen, that's the motor we need to get to. But anyway, let's continue on. So that's the panel we took off of already. And earlier, like I said, to take off the OBD harness, just go ahead and there's 2 little circlips, one on the left, one on the right. You're just going to pinch those together, and then that'll just come right out. There you go. Just make sure you put it in the same position as you took it off in, so when they do connect the OBD reader, it'll connect properly. Okay, and now we're gonna go ahead and mess with from what I can see, we're gonna have to take off these bolts right here. It's going to be 1, 2, and 3. That's all I'm seeing for now. Let me see what size that is so I can let you all know. Looks to me like it might be about a 14 maybe. No, wait, I take it back. That might be a 12mm. Nope. Oh gosh, don't tell me I gotta go back to my toolbox, all the way back in the garage. Hang on, let me, there we go. Damn it. Okay, it's gonna be a 10mm, guys. I'm glad I don't have to go all the way back to my garage for that. Not a whole lot of force to get them off. Just be sure you separate all your nuts and bolts and screws so you know where went where, what went where. I'm trying to get this camera in a good position for y'all guys. I apologize for all the moving around, but it's kind of hard. This car is kind of small and there's not a whole lot of room for me to get my body in here to do what I got to do without the camera being in the way. But I will try my best. Okay, so we got the lower bracket off. And now I'm going to go ahead and take this bottom portion of the steering column off, just so I can have more access to the so I can actually see what's behind here, because right now and that's where all your harnesses are going to be, all your cabling. So you're going to need to release that. Now I know there's a Phillips screwdriver right here underneath. So that's one. And then if I'm not mistaken, you're also going to have, let me unlock the steering wheel again. Hold on. I believe there's going to be a screw located on the left and right of this plastic housing, but we got to turn the wheel in order to get to it. I think that's, I remember seeing that. Hold on. Yep, there's the one on the right, and then there's the one on the left. So let's go ahead and get those off, and then I'll put the camera back on once I get that off. Okay guys, now that we took the steering column panel off, now you can see what I mean about the harness, the cable harnesses. So what makes it kind of necessary to take these off is that when you drop down the steering column, a lot of these are connected, as you can see right there, and they're going to have to be taken off as we lay this this steering column down, because you don't want to fray the cables and you don't want to pull the cables. So it's just best if we disconnect them just to play it safe. There's not enough leeway on them if we were to try to do it without taking off the cable harnesses or disconnecting them. There's just not going to be enough play to drop it, because this is going to have to drop. Just to give you an example, this is going to have to come all the way down to the seat, which is probably about just shy of a foot. That foot is going to give us about maybe almost a foot clearance to get to the back motor, which you still cannot even see it. There it is. Let me show you what I'm talking about. It's this guy right here. We need to get to the top of that in order to replace that coupling. So you can see why we're going to have to go ahead and I'm curious about this little guy right here. Okay, yeah, you're gonna see, like for instance, this cable harness right here, there's no way we're gonna be able to drop it because that's all the play I've got. This has to drop down quite a bit, so we're gonna have to disconnect that. Now I'm not sure what that is, but I know for sure this is your ignition harness. Believe that's your airbag. It's usually always yellow. This could be probably your signals. And then you got another harness right here. And then of course we're gonna have to take these little clip grommets off to give us all that leeway. So let me do that next, guys. Oh, and by the way, there's gonna be two bolts that you gotta disconnect that I can see so far. There's gonna be one on the right underneath the column and one on the left. And those are 12 millimeters, just so you know. All right, let me get this all disconnected, and then I'll come back once I show you that I've already done that. All right, guys. Okay, guys, it's been about almost 30 minutes into the process, and I went ahead and totally took the steering column down. What helped was I pushed the seat all the way back, and I compressed the wheel with the lever inward, so I was able to drop it down to the actual floor. Aside from the two bolts that I mentioned up on that section, there's going to be a long, let me show you, 14 millimeter bolt that goes in the very back of the column, and that goes from here to here, holding the steering column in the very back. So which would be from here, it holds it, this is where it goes into, but it has to go in between that bracket, and then that bracket has that bolt that holds it all together. That was a little tedious to get to, but I got it. And now we're going to go ahead and just you're not going to disconnect these. You're going to disconnect 3 of these hex screws. Well, you can see that 1, 2, and then there's one in the back, 3. And then once this motor comes off, you'll have access to the coupling. So again, just to save time and boredism on this video, Let me go ahead and take those 3 off, and then I'll show you what the inside looks like. All right, guys. Okay, guys, and now that I took apart the motor, you can see here now the root cause. So there's your coupler, or your coupling, I'm sorry, and you can see where it's just totally destroyed, you know, and there's all the little pieces. Now that's real gummy and tacky, you know. You can see that, you can already see it just sticking onto my finger. So I'm gonna pry that out real quick. It doesn't take a lot to come off, and clean it up, as well as the opposite side. I'm gonna clean that up as well. That's what you're looking at now. And then, like I said, it was 3 screws, 1, 2, 3. In case you're wondering, and I don't believe I mentioned it yet, you're gonna need a T30 star socket. That's what I mean by star socket. Let's see if I can get a close-up. And yeah, so once we replace that, we will no longer have an issue. So let me go ahead and do that next. In case you're wondering again, that coupling used to look like this, and it's just totally shredded. So anyway, go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and get that next, guys. I'll clean it up, pop the new one in there, show you what it looks like, bolt everything back as far as the motor goes, and then everything's gonna be the reversal. But let me go ahead and show you what that should look like here shortly. All right, guys. Okay, guys, and now this is what it should have looked like. This is with the replacement, of course. But there you have it. A brand new coupling. So at this point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put the motor back, put all the bolts back, and yeah, I'll probably just, so not to bore you guys again, I'm not going to show you every little thing as far as the reversal of what I took, how I took everything off. So we'll just go ahead and put this back for now, and then we'll just continue on from there. I'll just get this started. But yeah, like I said, I just kind of wanted to do this myself. It's something that I knew I can do, not very difficult. It took me about 35 to 40 minutes to get the steering column and all the cable harnesses off and all that. So putting everything back should be a little bit quicker. The only thing that I see might be a little complicated is that one area, or that one bolt, that 14 millimeter bolt that I told you, that's in the very, very back, that holds the that holds this entire column on the back end. That might be a little tedious because I have to actually lift everything up and align it just right so that I can make the that 14 millimeter bolt reach from one end to the other perfectly. That might be the only tedious part, but for that I'm not going to really video that, because I mean, it's just, in my opinion, it's just a waste of time. It's pretty much just like I said, you're just pretty much now going to put everything back the way you took it off, step by step, you know. But yeah, I'm going to put this on in a minute, guys. So yeah, let me go ahead and get all this back together, bolt everything down, and then I'll show you guys the end result. All right, guys. Okay, guys, that's going to conclude the video. As you can see, I put everything back. The housing, the wiring, everything's all set up the way it's supposed to be. And I guess what y'all are waiting for are the results. So here we go. Problem gone. Sounds beautiful. So yeah, like I said, it took about maybe 2 hours tops. Again, keep in mind I was recording video at the same time. The tedious part for me, really, putting everything back, was that 14 millimeter bolt that needs to go on the very back of the steering column. That was kind of a little awkward because, of course, as you're putting the screw inward, You got to align it just right to meet it across to the other side. And that was kind of a tedious little ordeal, but I found a simple fix for that. Was basically, if you remember, I told you there was 2 bolts underneath the very front of the column around this general area. And what I did was I tightened one up fully, and on the other one I dropped it down about maybe just shy of an eighth of, I don't know, about that much. And so basically, with my hand, I pulled down on this steering column, and what that did was that allowed that corner to lift up enough to where I was able to stick the screw right in. That, of course, was after several minutes of trying to get it on there with every way I can think of. But that's just a tidbit for you guys. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with the results. I didn't have to take it to the dealer. It didn't take too much of my time. I still have half a day to do whatever I want. So yeah, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. This is Cast 72. Peace out.